What's going on, guys? It is Steve with Mouse Secrets coming to you today with another video. Today we're talking about the Muppets. Muppets at Hollywood Studios. Disney announced today the closing schedule for Muppets Courtyard for Muppets 3D. I'll just get right into it. So Mama Melrose will be closing at Hollywood Studios on May 10th, followed by the closing of Pizza Rizzo and Muppets 3D on June 7th. So you got a couple months to get over there and check it out and see it before the final curtain call, before it's all done. I just got a couple things to say about it, and that's what this video is going to be about. So, first of all, I was thinking today, the news announced, I was like, first thing pops in my mind is they really need to change the name of Hollywood Studios along with this. I think keeping the name Hollywood Studios at this point, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, once you get rid of Muppets 3D and the Courtyard and so forth, call it something else. Just call it a hodgepodge Pixar Land or something. I don't know, Pixar World, hodgepodge Pixar World. You already got Toy Story. You're going to have Monsters. It just doesn't make sense to call it Hollywood Studios, in my opinion, anymore. Honestly, even before this announcement of losing Muppets, it probably didn't make sense to keep the name Hollywood Studios. But definitely at this point, I think it needs to be changed. And I was thinking more about it too, like the things over the last decade that Disney has taken away and replaced or rethemed. Not one of them is, in my opinion, has been anything better. And what I mean by that is, you know, we lost Splash Mountain, we gained Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I think it's a downgrade, right? We lost the Backlot Studio Tour and Catastrophe Canyon and picked up Galaxy's Edge. Not an upgrade in my opinion either. Some people might actually disagree with me on that one, but maybe because I'm a little bit older and I remember how cool the Backlot Studio Tour was and how awesome Catastrophe Canyon was. I absolutely don't agree. I might feel a little different had they, we'll talk about that there in a second. But you could just go down the list of recent attractions that have disappeared and been replaced by something else. I think every single one of them is a downgrade. Now, one thing that I was thinking about, and I think a lot of you guys probably would agree with this. I don't think Disney doesn't listen to the fans. Let's just be honest. They don't listen to any feedback or anything that they get after these type of announcements. And I mean, the overwhelming response when folks found out that the new Monstersland that everyone was excited about at D23, including myself, was going to be replacing Muppets Courtyard, the overall feedback was not positive. It was very negative. A lot of negative feedback, including myself. And I mean, you had a lot of people. I saw today someone said, I can't remember who it was, but they're like, why are they building this again in Muppets Courtyard when you have an abandoned cul-de-sac on the other side of the park where Star Wars Launch Bay is in Animator's Courtyard? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Now, look, I know there's something about like there's maybe some cast offices or something behind that, behind Animator's Courtyard that can kind of get disrupted. I don't know about that. I'm not exactly sure, but whatever. My whole point is they don't listen to criticism. There was a lot of criticism, and there's still to this day a lot of criticism about the decision to retheme Splash Mountain into Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And like I said, obviously it's an attraction that's not living up to it's not filling the shoes quite yet. I mean, the thing is going to be closing a lot in the coming days early. Now, I understand people have been saying that that's normal. It's the time of year, it's weather, they have to do maintenance. Maybe, but even before then, the attraction still had a lot of issues, technical issues, downtime, and so forth. Let's bring it back to Hollywood Studios. Losing the great movie ride to Mickey's Runaway Railway. Maybe that's one of the biggest catastrophes. One of the biggest catastrophes out there, in my opinion. I mean, you went from having this amazing attraction that fit perfectly within the theming of the Chinese theater, the great movie ride, and you replace it with a screen-based Mickey Mouse ride, simulator ride. I mean, it's not a simulator, but a screen-based dark ride or something. It's forgettable. I don't ride it all the time. We don't ride it all the time. If there's any bit of a line, we skip it. Whereas if it was a great movie ride, we would wait in line to ride that. Absolutely. And so that's a massive downgrade, actually. I kind of forgot about that one. How could I forget that? That's bad. But Hollywood Studios is just in rough shape. You know, you've got... I don't even know how to clarify what Hollywood Studios is anymore. What's the theme of it? I don't know. I mean, you've got Launch Bay, Star Wars Launch Bay on one side of the park in the cul-de-sac. I'm going to call it the cul-de-sac from now on. Thank you. You've got Star Tours in its own area of the park. And then you've actually got the Galaxy's Edge. So that's weird. You've got three Star Wars areas separated within Hollywood Studios. So anyway, I was thinking about it today while I was working. And it really hit me a little bit today is that Disney has lost its ambition. There's no like mega ambition left within Disney. And you could relate that to Hollywood. You can relate it to the parks. And for the sake of this video, I'll just talk about it within the scheme of theme parks, in my opinion. But there's just, to me, like, there's no like great ambitious project for Disney anymore. Like here at Disney World, what is the great ambitious project? There is none. You know, we're going to get like Monstersland. To me, that's a lazy project. Like there's nothing special about it. The idea of a Doors coaster, that's been something that's been around for like 2 decades within the rumor mills and stuff. So I don't know, like that's not some like grand, like groundbreaking thing like that Monstersland is going into Hollywood studios. I think you could make the same argument for, I know that not everyone's going to agree, but even the Villains Land, I don't think that's like some grand ambitious project. That's been a project or an idea that's been tossed around for decades as well. I mean, maybe it's a little bit ambitious, but it's, I don't know. Let's see what that is even going to be years down the road. We haven't even gotten to groundbreaking on that yet. So I do wonder, like, if how that project even holds together as we go further and further into time. But, I mean, there was a time where Disney World was building Animal Kingdom, and at the same time they were building the Animal Kingdom Lodge. At the same time they were building, hotel, Pop Centuries and All Stars. I mean, they were building Grand Floridians and they were building hotels. Nowadays you get like the Riviera, which is just kind of a cookie cutter looking hotel. Talking about the fans not being heard. I mean, people were upset about the DVC tower built at the Polynesian, that it really messes with the aesthetics of the existing property there. I 100% agree. It's still got built. It's open. It's receiving guests today. But yeah, like there's no like grand plan. There's no announcement for a 5th gate. There's nothing. You're going to get a little nighttime parade, a little villain show at Hollywood Studios, a little Doors coaster, but there's no like, we're taking this thing to the next level. We're going to be breaking out this amazing new modern technology to build this new type of transportation system to get around the resort. Heck, instead of expanding a monorail, we got the Skyliner. And look, I know some people love the Skyliner, but at the end of the day, that's not like breakthrough ambitious technology. It's technology that's used all over the world at various places for mode of transportation. So I don't know if I would lump that one in there either. I don't know. I don't think there's any. If I'm forgetting something, tell me in the comments below. Like, oh, but Disney's doing this. But I don't know. Like, there's nothing that like is like, oh, I can't wait for that. You know what I mean? And so when I was thinking about it today with this announcement, just kind of digesting the whole like state of Disney and the parks and in general. I mean, I don't like comparing Disney and Universal. I say that all the time on this channel. They're totally different in my opinion. Disney's just mega conglomerate. Entertainment conglomerate with buku dollars or whatever, and land and space. Universal just doesn't have that, but Universal's its own thing. But anyway, you can compare them, I think, in certain situations. And the way I would compare them is, in this situation, is that they do have some ambition right now going. And that is the Epic Universe in general, right? Like, they're building this high-tech, state-of-the-art theme park in a limited amount of time. Started during a pandemic. I'm sure they dealt with crazy supply chain issues during the construction process due to the pandemic. Still got this thing off the ground. It's almost ready to open. Heck, they already got one of the resort hotels that they're building open this week. 2 more hotels to come along with it, along with the park itself, transportation corridor to get it to and from their existing Universal property, upgrading roads, the civil engineering that goes behind that. I mean, it's an ambitious project that they have carried out. Now, look, I could probably make a separate video about Epic Universe because I do believe that there could be some issues with it. We don't know. Like, I mean, historically, anytime a brand new theme park opens, there's a lot of problems in the early years. There's that growth or that opening phase that's very bumpy or whatever. And so I'm sure those type of things will rear its ugly head with Epic Universe too, probably more so than ever because we live in the era of vloggers and social media, and people are going to capture every single thing that goes wrong when a new theme park opens, just like they captured everything that went wrong when the new Stella Universe opened. But anyway, that's another conversation for another video. But bringing it back to Epic Universe and Universal, they are carrying out a very ambitious project, which is Epic Universe. And Disney's just not doing that. Disney's just in a very lazy, let it ride mode. And they just don't, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's what the mentality there is. If they're just, I don't know why. I don't know why there is no like mega plan in the future. No, like just big ambitious plan. Instead of it's just like a lazy thing, like, hey, let's just throw Monstersland in Hollywood studios. Well, where are we gonna do it? I'll just throw it on top of the Muppets. Does it feel like there wasn't a lot of thought that went into that? They need to drive crowds for a couple of seasons. That'll bring some new folks in or something. But at the end of the day, like, is it an upgrade to anything? No, I don't think they've done any upgrades. The parks have not gotten any upgrades by what they've added to them over the last decade. Everything has just been, to me, like negative in the long run. I mean, you can talk about Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge has been I don't want to say a massive fail, but it's an epic letdown for a lot of people, in that it could be so much better had some more thought gone into it. Where like, hey, maybe we hey, the sequel trilogy is not being received so well. We made a boo-boo there, but let's not bring that into the parks. Let's keep Galaxy's Edge themed towards the original trilogy. Throw a Darth Vader in there, a Luke and a Leia and a Han and a Yoda, and let them walk around and do something, and have some John Williams blaring in the speakers when you're there or something. But instead, like, Disney will never admit that they're wrong or they made a bad decision. And instead they just like keep trying to force Galaxy's Edge on you, force the sequel trilogy on you or something. And I just think like that all kind of that's just company wide. Like, hey, people didn't want to see the Muppets be rethemed. They would like to see monsters have a presence in the parks, but not in lieu of getting rid of the Muppets. And that feedback, I guess, just falls on deaf ears. I mean, there's just nowhere else it could have been done, I guess. So anyway, that's a wrap on the video. Just my thinking today. I would love to see Disney at some point in my lifetime become that great, groundbreaking, ambitious company that built the modern Disney resort in the 80s and the 90s. I'd like to see like another era of that, where we see some really cool stuff taking place. And I know that it's so far down the road at this point, because even if they announce some mega project, you're talking probably about a decade before we would even step foot in it. That's kind of sad. But anyway, that's a wrap on the video. Let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Are you excited for Monsters? Or do you wish Disney had probably listened to some feedback and said, you know what, we're going to relocate it to somewhere else? All right, take care. Have a great one. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.